on a fucking Friday night. Oh, it's been forever since the Underground has been on a Friday due to a lot of different people's schedules. So it feels so devilishly good to be back on Friday night. And I got a special treat for you as we go into our Halloween weekend. God damn, it feels good. All right. So I have with me tonight a kind of like a more in-depth moving into the world of the Friday the 13th fan film franchise with FlashtainEment Productions, and joining us is some of the cast members as well. So I want y'all, hey Kyler, thank you for joining us tonight, brother. Always a pleasure to have you. But before we get into the awesomeness of this new edition, special Halloween edition, we're going to take a quick commercial break to one of our sponsors here at Reapers Underground. Check it out. That is right. And tattoo season is almost here. That was our ever so famous, wonderful sponsor at Villain Arts Tattoo. Myself and my Dark Goddess Mischief. You can catch us both at any of these tattoo conventions that come into your town. So come in, say hello, stay for a spell. All righty. So once again, welcome,
FlashtainEment Productions. That is
there. We go. Just wanted to make sure I didn't fuck it up.
Not at all. Didn't butcher it at all.
Fan-fucking-tastic. All right. So we got Maurice McCoy Jr. And we also have a couple of cast members as well. So why don't we just kind of go around and introduce yourselves to everybody out there in Three Witches Land.
What's going on, everybody? I am Nick O'Brien. I'll be your Jason Voorhees from The New Blood, which I still consider as the best fucking look for Jason. All the spine, the teeth, the blood, the kills. It's some of the best of Jason. Played by the legendary, awesome Kane Hodder. Still the best Jason. Give me your hands up there.
Awesome. Welcome, brother. How about you, Retro Jason?
Yeah. My name's Andrew Schultz. I'm going to be playing Retro Jason. I'm excited to learn more about him, different things. Don't know too much about him yet. Haven't dived fully into the character yet.
No spoilers for Retro Jason just yet.
Absolutely. Raffles the Clown, welcome, brother. Always a pleasure to have you. Please help us in sharing this out. And then Maurice, go ahead and tell everybody what you're up to.
Well, as you guys can know, my name is Maurice McCoy Jr. I am the illustrious director, producer, writer, CEO, and boss of FlashtainEment Productions. And I want to welcome every and all people that are watching this live to Reapers, Daddy Reapers live show.
Devil Daddy.
Reapers on Devil Daddy. I'm sorry, there we go. On Three Witches Entertainment and Reapers Underground. So to give you guys a little bit of a backstory for me, unfortunately, no, I did not go to film school to learn how to direct and produce. Everything that I know and is learned from former directors who I've worked with, former producers who I've worked with, and just picking up knowledge as I go. So coming from my background, like I said, I'm just a young kid, not going to disclose my age. I'm just a young kid from Chicago trying to show my talent. Oh, yeah, Chi-Town is in the house, baby. Trying to show my skills of bringing a new taste of a fan film to the Friday 13th franchise.
Now, that's something that I've been talking about actually for a long time. My first kind of dabble into it is when I had Jason Brooks on back in the summertime. And it just kind of like opened up my eyes a little bit more to the possibilities. Because we're talking about a franchise that has been like kind of missing in action for a while.
Where's
and
its requel?
People that have been keeping it alive is, people like Jason Brooks, yourselves, and there's some really, really good potential there. So your title is the Multiverse of Jason, or the Multiverse Jason.
Multiverse of Jason, yes.
Where did you get the idea to do this? Like, where did it all start for you? What made you want to try to put something like this together?
Okay, so before I answer that question, let's go back to the title of my production company, FlashtainEment Productions, LLC.
For sure.
So FlashtainEment is derived from my favorite DC superhero, Flash.
I knew it.
Flash. That's exactly where it comes from. And what really opened my eyes up to creating this production company is, I wanted to get into filming and directing because I never had the opportunity due to unforeseen reasons with school. So by me watching Flash, I'm like, you know what? Let me make something that's going to be a unique name that's going to be catchy in the next 10 years as I grow. So FlashtainEment is derived from Flash, and the title Multiverse of Jason comes from both Marvel and DC. Marvel, we have the multiverse
of madness
with Flash, and then we have the multiverse with Doctor Strange,
which opened up so many more possibilities.
Hey, come on. Directed by Sam Raimi, the guy who brought us Evil Dead. What more can we ask for something like that?
I mean, it takes, visionaries like that to give us a different look at what we're used to. So I am very, very interested. I had seen the trailer for this, or like, I guess is it your official trailer, or
it's
just
not
the first of many?
It's just a concept trailer to give viewers a slight idea. Even though we only have one Jason in that trailer, it gives you guys a slight idea of what's to come from FlashtainEment Productions in the film of Multiverse of Jason. So in the Multiverse of Jason, we are dealing with 3 different versions of Jason from 3 different timelines. So
Kyler says, I still want to see Jason teleport and swim. You never know. You just might see it, Kyler.
Oh, boy.
Nice.
Well, I will give Kyler a little hint. My Jasons are going to be very, very badass, very strong deadites or humanoids to lift, swim, teleport, all of that good hoorah in this film. So we're gonna have a very intense session, a few intense sessions before we actually film. So all of my Jasons will be bulking up to fulfill their duties for this film.
We never have encountered a Jason that was not large and in charge, so to speak. So I could totally understand that for sure. But yeah, just from, like I said, seeing that trailer, it kind of like really kind of interested me because I'm like, this could go in so many different directions. And, not knowing too much about it, I'm actually learning at the same time. Because let's face it, what hasn't Jason done? We had him in outer space. We had him in Manhattan, New York. So the possibility, and let's face it, he's also in video games, Mortal Kombat.
Yes,
So,
the biggest one of them.
Yeah, because his own video game that he did. So yeah,
exactly.
That was awesome.
So it's not, at least to me, I don't know about you all out there in Three Witches Land. I don't think that it's impossible to take this kind of perspective. And we got somebody like Maurice who's actually bringing it to life, and better and more importantly, for you. So he's not concerned about, getting it on screen, getting it on CD, DVD, whatever, out there on Amazon or anything like that. He just wants to bring this to life. And I think you really got something here. Looks like somebody just popped in, Prince Onyx. Do you want to bring him on?
Yes, that is my
yes.
EPR character.
Okay. We don't have him on video, though. Might want to check your camera. Welcome, Prince Onyx.
Hey, everybody. What's going on? I'm actually at work right now, so that's why I have my camera
I
off.
feel it.
Yeah.
Man.
No problem.
Right now, but I still wanted to join, so thank y'all for having me. Thank you so much. I was
Welcome
watching
to the
in
underground.
background. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. I was watching in the background, and I was like, okay, let me get the link and go ahead and join. So I'm here. I am helping out Maurice, the CEO of FlashtainEment, with this production. He's actually, me and him go way back since high school, and we've been friends ever since. He's actually been on my first film project, because I'm a filmmaker as well, dating back to 2015, which is like a supernatural horror fantasy series. So it focuses on like vampires and werewolves and stuff like that. So it's more of the supernatural variety.
That's in my wheelhouse, believe me.
Yeah. So
Same here, brother. I love werewolves.
Thank you. So he's been on
There's
that
not
project
enough good
with
werewolf
me.
films, damn it.
Okay, say that louder. So he's been working with me on that, and I'm just honored to be a part of this production and helping him out and giving as much advice and counseling as I can, because I too did not go to film school, so I've had to learn everything on my own. I'm still buying a plethora of books on screenwriting and pitching and selling and directing and producing, just so you just understand the wide range of the industry.
Absolutely.
So I'm just happy to do this. And I feel like this fan film, I really just want to say, I actually love this genre of fan films, because it helps to keep the lore alive of certain, things, whether it's Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Scream. I feel like almost any of the iconic horror films, almost all of them have a sector of fan films. And I just really appreciate that, because it's putting I guess you could say, the power in the fans' hands. But it's also fans just paying homage to a series that they loved growing up.
Absolutely. And especially where we think just because the franchise has somewhat died out, just because it's not in theaters. There's, people always kind of checking the horror zines and blogs and stuff about, we heard that they're going to be doing this, or they're going to be doing that. Nah, instead of just waiting for it, we got people like y'all getting out there in the trenches and bringing something new, keeping that spirit alive, like you said. Because I belong to a lot of the Friday the 13th groups, on Facebook. So I'm constantly seeing people sharing their love for it, ideas and stuff like that. So, I'm a huge supporter of it. Especially, if you guys get an Indiegogo going for this, because I contributed to Vengeance and Vengeance 2 and all that stuff. So I'd be more than happy to help out with some support, because the ideas that I'm hearing and I'm getting is just sounding really good to me. And I definitely want to delve more into that. So we now know where you got the idea for this. When Before I get to that, I was going to say, you guys have talked about how you haven't had like the director schooling and stuff like that. Let me tell you, especially for all of you out in Three Witches Land, it starts with an idea and a vision. You don't necessarily have to. Now, that's not to say don't go to film school or anything like that, but if you have a passion, and obviously y'all have that passion to do what you want to do and follow that dream, there ain't nothing going to stop you. I mean, look at Glenn Danzig. Glenn Danzig from the Misfits, Sam Hain Danzig, has been a horror lover since he was a kid and has made 2 films, never directed a film in his life. So that just goes to show you that if you want it bad enough, you can do it. So major props for that. So
this is my vision and I want it now.
There you go. Like I said, that's where that's where it starts right there. Before we move on real quick, hello, Trina, John, Zach. Actually, Zach says this is going to be insane.
So
just wait for
Zach, Zach is part of my crew. He is on the writing team with me as well.
Awesome. Fantastic. Glad to have you. Kyler says Friday the 13th was my first horror movie ever, and I love Jason. He will always be my favorite, and I appreciate you guys more than you can imagine. So that tells you
this
something
is for
right
you.
there.
This is for the Friday the 13th fans.
Fuck yeah, absolutely. And those of you out there in Three Witches Land, please don't be afraid to ask questions. They are here to give you insight on everything that you're curious about. So this is going to be a multiverse of Jason, kind of, would you say, taking place in different spots, time periods? What are we looking at?
So this film, Multiverse of Jason, it takes place in 3 different time eras. We have the early 80s, we have the late 90s, and we have present day, which will take place in 2023.
Okay, so in the trailer that you guys can find out there on YouTube, what time period was that?
So the trailer that I showed you, that was the present day 2023.
I had a feeling. Okay. Excellent. All right. So we're kind of taking place at different stages in Jason's evolution.
Absolutely. And we're transporting 2 Jasons from 2 different Earths onto 2023. Well, 2023 is Earth 3 in a sense. Okay. So the 2 other Jasons are coming down to my Earth that I am on, which is Earth 3, and they're coming to wreak havoc. But little do they know, I'm not gonna spoil it. Sorry, guys.
You don't want to give too much.
No spoilers, man. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Let me guess. Freddy comes back and he's about to try to get his revenge.
Freddy's Revenge.
That would be a nice twist, guys.
Hey, maybe an idea for the future. You never know.
I can use a good Freddy to do a nice ass kicking with.
There you go. Because let me tell you, that film just fucking, I don't know. I didn't know how well it was going to go. And they actually did some seriously good writing on that film. Probably one of the best, I don't know if you would say rated or like just as far as like really good story and all that stuff. Every time I talk to people, they're always like, well, my favorite film was Freddy versus Jason. So I'm like, all right, well, what if we got a bunch of them together? And I just found out, I can't believe I didn't know this. There is a short film of Jason versus Michael Myers. And it was actually
that has surfaced on Facebook for me. I've seen that twice.
Trust me.
No, I forgot the director who made that film. Sorry, I do apologize. I watched that film twice,
and I'm terribly sorry.
That film is totally badass. Like from the fight choreography scene to the blood and guts. I'm like, okay.
That was some of the best fights I've ever seen. And honestly, if we were to do something that great again, I would pay for the price of an admission. Seeing him and Michael, two of my favorites of all time, it'd be one of the greatest things I will ever see.
And that's the beauty of fan films. Anything goes. Anything is possible. You're not going to keep getting the same story regurgitated. So that's why we're so very, very interested in this film. So obviously, New Blood Jason, you are very familiar with the character.
Familiar? How about you say, been watching him since I was 5 years old, man.
Same.
Guilty as charged, man. Ever since I was five, when I started watching New Blood, which was my very first film, which I still enjoy a lot because of those awesome kills, but fuck the MPAA for taking away all the awesome shit away from those kills.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem you run into, which is why here at the Underground, I am all about the Underground because we're more real. You know, on my other show with Genghis the Demon called the Witch and Kitchen Hour, which you can catch normally on Fridays. But we were talking about how the deleted scenes could have offered so much more. We were talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, where they introduced Chop Top. And there were some deleted scenes in there that would have made the film so much better. So we can expect, I guess, a lot more shock value or, just like better kills with Multiverse of Jason.
I can tell you this right now. I'm not holding back. I'm not holding back. I am literally going to go goddamn hard the way Kane Hodder would have done these kills. I have watched his deleted scenes
he
on
never
YouTube.
held back, that's for sure.
I have watched so much of his deleted scenes of all those kills on YouTube. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do Kane Hodder justice, do these kills proper, and to give the fans some serious carnage candy the way they really want it.
Awesome. So question for Maurice and Prince Onyx. Are you going for more of a practical special effects, or are you going to try to incorporate some less practical stuff?
Oh no, everything is going to be practical effects. The more realism it is, the better for the film. Because I love practical. I have to go with practical. Also, one of my SFX artists, his name is Hilario Rodriguez. He is going to be helping create some of the badass practical effects that we're going to have on set.
Amazing. That's awesome. Because I'll tell you what, nothing makes a film, like you said, more realistic, and the audience can cringe. When an audience cringes at a kill, you got something. Kind of like the success of Terrifier and Terrifier 2.
Awesome.
No spoilers.
Awesome kills. Yeah. But for anyone who's seen the first one, you know what I'm talking about. That was honestly the most brutal kill I have ever seen in my life.
I have to agree. It takes a lot to make me go, "Ooh, shit!"
Yeah.
How do you think all the women felt on that one, man? Jeez, I can imagine them watching it at the movies or in the theater, grabbing their cooches like, I got
And you know what? I mean, I'm actually kind of glad that it didn't happen because it was a hidden gem on Netflix.
Yeah.
No one had really heard about it. So that just goes to show you how much of a cult following that got and evolved into part 2 to actually even go to the film. People were literally throwing up in the aisleways is what I had heard. So that just goes to show you they got the best of the best.
Well,
so
that's because those guys have weak stomachs. They have
exactly.
They just don't belong. They just don't belong in the world of horror. They can't handle amazing practical effects. Stick with your CGI and just don't come back.
And that's always been I don't know, you think about those super huge budgeted films and they take so much CGI into it. I mean, certain characters you kind of have to do that with, but when it comes to something that you could have done yourself, I think they were just, I don't know, didn't want it to be as real as they thought, or they're just living in an AI world. I don't know. So
I'm just saying this straight up right now. In the world of horror films, especially slashers, it's all practical from here on out. You do some CGI in there, you're just losing your target audience, and you're just not that right there for anymore.
Now, can we expect any heroines in this film? Anything like a final girl or someone who makes it to the end, or I just kind of like wanting to learn a little bit more about, you know, some of the other cast members, especially for our viewers out there.
I will give you guys, you know, a little taste. We will have heroines, guys, girls who will be final. How many? That is TBD. I will not.
Oh, for sure. No, you ain't got to tell us that, because you know that the big thing in horror films has been final girls, scream queens. Do you feel like, you know, a lot of your actresses have that potential?
Off back, I will honestly say yes. There is definitely high potential with the few cast members that I do have right now. I mean, the few cast members that I have right now, you know, those are my friends that also helped with the trailer, and I'm going to take them into the film as well. So we're all going to have fun, lots of bloody fun creating this film. And the official casting will not take place until next year. So all that we are doing right now, we're in the pre-production phase 1 with the script writing and finalizing all ideas and working on budgeting and finding, you know, sources to film, and it's just, you know, we're still getting everything together. So like I said, we're in the pre-production phase 1 right now. And the first thing that I have to do is make sure that I have my Jasons off back. I have to make sure I have my Jasons.
Yes.
Make sure I have a team, a trustworthy team that I am still forming. Because without my team, what am I?
For sure. You know, and you hear about so many of these films where everyone was like one big fucking family. It's no different than being in a band. Everybody relies on each other. Everybody has their own talents, and being on the same fucking page. Like, you don't have, you know, actors or actresses that have like ego, you know, stuff like that. It's like, oh, well, I've done this and I've done. Fuck off. You know,
that's one thing.
Fuck them.
It's so fucking true. So, and that's one of the awesome things about indie films is you really get more of that. You know, unless you have a director that's, you know, hard to deal with, but you know, for the most part, from all the indie actors that I've talked to, they've had the pleasure of working with some pretty good directors, producers, everybody on set, everybody looks out for each other, you know, that kind of shit. So far, it definitely seems that way. And then you have kind of a, would I say, newer to the idea of acting, retro Jason?
Newer to this type of acting.
So what kind of acting have you done previously?
More like Disney Channel, MTV, stuff like that, like reality TV show and scripted movies. So different things like that.
Well, you know, you can kind of probably take some shit from that and put it into more of a fantasy type of a role, I would imagine. So, I mean, have you always been a horror fan?
I've always had horror fan, everything like that. As soon as Smile, I know some people aren't classifying Smile as a horror. Some people are. As soon as that came out, I jumped on that because it was just like, I've been hearing so much feedback from different people on it, like just how this is the scariest horror movie I've ever seen or whatever. And I can't sleep. And I was just like, I sat through it. I'm just like, this is just stupid. Like, it's good, but it's just stupid. It's not like a jump scare like you're going to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I will say right there, the era of jump scare films fucking sucks.
The worst.
Nobody gives a shit about jump scares. You can jump scare me all. My son tries to jump scare me all the time, and I just look down at him and go, "Really? That's all you got?" it takes a little bit more to grab audiences nowadays because, I mean, let's face it, the last 20 years, 2000 till now, fans are more interested in realism. So the more real it can be, the more successful it becomes. I mean, look at Scream 1.
Absolutely, yeah.
Nobody saw that shit coming.
No, they did not, because the slasher genre was just about dead for the 90s.
Yeah, and whoever thought of a duo that would play the role of the slasher? You never knew who you were getting. I mean, I guess height-wise, you could have probably figured it out. But otherwise, you didn't know who the fuck was doing it, right? So you add that like Scooby-Doo kind of element
literally
into
because
it.
we got Shaggy in that.
So I think with now, how many different Jasons are you having? Are you having up to 3 or?
There, like I said, there are a total of 3 Jasons. My third Jason was not able to join us tonight, but hopefully after this, we will see the interview.
Hope to meet you.
Awesome. Okay, so are you kind of doing like a timeline with this? Starting with, the older era, mid era, and then to the present, or is it kind of flip flop back?
No flip flop. So it will start off from the 80s and work its way up to the ranks of 2023.
Gotcha. And now, are you focusing on different situations or just like camp counselors?
This will definitely be college camp counselors. So for my film, I'll
finally know high schoolers.
A little bit. So my film, it dies with it does counselors who are of college age, and they go to Crystal Lake due to the crooked mayor of Crystal Lake, who tells them, hey, there's this camp that this one kid, Benjamin, aka Big Ben, we call him Big Ben, who is the late adopted son of the Christies.
Oh.
So my film does deal with, the Christie story, a little bit of the Christie storyline that I want to tell. And Ben is the adopted son of the Christies, and he has no idea that he has all this land that's now his name.
Okay.
So the crooked mayor, he tells Ben and his friends, hey, there's this camp out, near the neck of the woods in Crystal Lake. This is your property. Do as you please with it. And I'll return. Like I said, he's a crooked mayor, so he has a motive. He has an ulterior motive for what's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
And this mayor, he has a past. It's a reason why we have 3 Jasons on one Earth.
Nice. I'm definitely digging the vibe. So retro Jason would be the 80s Jason?
Not at all.
No.
No.
Oh. Interesting.
Retro Jason is, if you've played the Friday the 13th game, you know what and how Retro Jason looks and what his powers are in the video game.
That was the element that I was missing.
The element of surprise. Yes. So Retro Jason is a never before seen character Jason in any of the films, any of the fan films. So this is what I want to contribute. This is my love letter to the Friday the 13th series, film series. Bringing Retro Jason to life.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and that's probably what's going to put you a notch up above everybody else because there's I mean, from fucking little kids to teenagers, all play that game. Gaming is a huge part of their lives. So to be able to have a film like this that will even focus on that, I think will draw in a lot of interest. So.
Oh yeah. So what I will say
Absolutely.
to Mr. Andrew, aka Retro Jason, be prepared because you're going to be in for quite a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of killing.
Well, let me tell you,
New Blood Jason, he's going to give you hell. He's going to give you hell.
Trust me.
I can see he's got the killer instinct. That's for sure. It's Retro Jason that I'm wondering about. So you're going to have to, put yourself in a headspace where it just doesn't fucking matter to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna train into. I'm a volunteer firefighter. I'm gonna go into that mindset right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna go into that like we're battling a fire. Like we just focus on that and go into like that type of mindset and trigger that into this. And I'm working with a couple coaches right now. Some really good friends of mine that act and stuff in different horror films and stuff that are bigger up celebrities that have done like bigger things and getting feedback from them to understand the character more because I don't want to just act. I don't want to say act the act, but like walk the walk. I want to actually live the character and understand and develop it and be able to show it on every level that you're just like, that's not an actor. That's actually like, holy crap, what is this? Like I felt
right. Because you have to be emotionless, like just a pure killing machine. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You're there, they get killed. It's over. I always love finding out how people, because different actors, actresses have told me in the past, it's different like dichotomies. The type of headspace that they have to get into. Like some people go off of, I don't know, past memories, or they think of a story that they had read or something like that, where they can literally just kind of switch that on and go with it. New Blood Jason, what kind of headspace do you find yourself getting into playing this character? I'm really curious.
So obviously, as we all know, no spoilers. It's been like, I don't know, like 40 years. We saw Jason's mother get completely fucking decapitated.
Right.
And we see that, you know what? He was a mama's boy, right?
Apparently.
He loves no one but his mother. And being that he's all along being trapped in that lake ever since he was a kid.
I hope this is not me that's frozen.
Yes, you are frozen.
Yeah.
yes, you're frozen on my end.
Everyone is frozen. Okay.
You're frozen.
Are we back?
There we go.
There we
we
go.
go.
A
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah, there you go.
Was it me or you?
I think it was just you.
I think it was everyone.
Damn it. Okay, I was kind of afraid for a second. So I'm like, I'm still talking. I'm still, moving. Fuck. All right, here we go. So back to what you were saying.
So when you see his mother and you see the anger and the hatred for all these teenagers making stupid fuck decisions, smoking, drugs, saying, who's there? I'll be right back.
Ha ha! Don't forget the premarital sex at Camp Crystal Lake. You have sex, you die. Don't have sex, you may stay alive. Be a virgin, you may stay alive.
That's what made the 80s films so classic. It had a formula to it. And, let's face it, Scream capitalized on all of that.
When you get a director like Wes Craven, you're going to get the best.
Exactly.
Rest in peace to that man.
That's where there's so much room to change the formula. Now, do you think you'll be kind of like breaking some of those barriers with this film?
Me personally, the only thing I plan to break will be pretty much all those heads I plan to crush. Cornet decapitating my mother.
Oh shit. Did you have the cast member sign a waiver?
Oh yeah, when I have them on set without signing their life away.
That's going to make just great entertainment. Without a doubt.
To answer your other question, I will be paying homage to a lot of the past scenes where some of the characters will be going through the how do I put this? Some of them will be dealing with everyday, upbringings of how they act and how they portray things. One of my characters will be killed while doing drugs. Some of my counselors will be killed premarital sex. But then there will be new formula brought into this film as well. As you can see, like, it's not just your everyday slasher horror. This is your slasher fantasy horror, because we're dealing with the multiverse, which is going to open up a Pandora's box into more films within the multiverse realm of like Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, Friday the 13th. Might even dive into Chucky, might dive into Saw. Who knows? I'm going to go original content to keep all of it within the same continuity that each killer may know of each other, or have different casts have different actors from different cities coming into one another.
Now, see, that would really be interesting, because I've always kind of said, I don't know if you guys agree, but in part 2, Friday the 13th, part 2, when Jason had the bag over his head, before he got the mask, that he had that place kind of rigged, to trap people a little bit. And there was even a little bit of the same idea in the reboot, is what they called it. The Friday the 13th reboot.
Yeah. With Derek Mears.
I love that fucking guy. He was so fucking amazing.
Awesome. He
was
even
awesome. More amazing in what was it? Part 3 of Hatchet.
Oh yeah,
that was so fucking cool. I love all those films.
Hatchet is one of the reasons I will not go to Baton Rouge. I'm sorry, I will not.
I will not. Hey, as long as I get to meet Daniel Harris in New Orleans, I'll be okay with that.
Absolutely. But I actually think that maybe some of the Saw films got a little bit from that. Just because I feel like Jason was the first slasher to have, like, kind of create situations where the people, whether he's chasing them or not, can get trapped, so he can get them. So it's not too far-fetched to say that some Saw elements could go into it.
Absolutely.
I like to think of the reboot Jason more as a survivalist. Basically setting up these traps, putting up underground tunnels where he kept that Whitney stick, and setting up little bells of where those locations were.
Absolutely. So
that was a smart Jason. I'm sorry, I didn't find that he was like a dumbass, because most Jasons are like not kind of, they're not the ones to really set the tone and set the trap and hunt. Like, they will hunt, but Derek Mears, when he portrayed Jason, he was hunting them.
Oh, he was on a mission.
The mission was to protect his weed from any cost.
I don't even think he gave two fucking shits about the weed being there. But if he needed financing for, his killing campaign, there it was. For fucking sure. I thought that whole opening sequence was just perfect.
Absolutely perfect.
Only because it connected you to modern times.
And it felt like a Friday 13th film for once.
It did. It's almost like they kind of wrapped a bunch of them together in one film. But it lacked one thing. No supernatural effects. You didn't get the feeling that he's been tried to be killed 1,000 different ways and just keeps coming. I don't know if we can agree on that.
No, I agree, because supposedly behind the scenes, because I watch behind the scenes of how films are made, and apparently producers, aka Michael fucking Bay, he supposedly said want to go for more of a natural type of Jason here. One who's like a survivalist, been on his own in Crystal Lake for a long ass time, setting up traps. But it's just like, you know what? Where's like the scariness, the supernatural? Like, how the hell is he still alive after seeing his mother get decapitated?
That's the
drowned.
Question of the almost 22nd century we still want to know.
Exactly. So, and it was a dream sequence in the very first Friday the 13th that even shows him coming out of the water. So is he aquatic?
Yes, there was.
Was he aquatic? Would he breathe underwater? Did he suddenly like live there for a while? Because they kind of made reference to him being much younger when he drowned. And then suddenly he comes up out of the water and he's like a teenager.
They said Jason, he died at what? You said, all right, Jason died at a young age. But to me, I felt like, he didn't look young. He looked like he was a teenager coming out of that water to come after Alice in the dream sequence. So exactly. I'm thinking, how is that possible? Is he dead or is he alive? But he just been living and feeding off in the woods.
Or he's just been off screen saying, "Haha, psych, I've been alive all the time. Hi, mommy. He just killed my mommy."
That's been the question of the century, And I actually had Ari Lehman, the guy that played Jason in that.
The first scene. Jason. I love his band. The first
Met the guy twice. Awesome guy.
Oh, he's such a cool guy.
Guy. Awesome.
If they would have actually had him in that film a little bit more, I think it would have made it even bigger, than what it was.
My idea, though, it would be pretty cool, though, when he grabs Alice, right? And then the camera starts panning down to the water. I think that's where it should have ended. Instead of saying, no, it was all just a dream. That would have left the audience going, holy shit, I never want to go camping again. There's a fucking kid in the lake.
What about the boy? The boy in the lake. Well, that boy in the lake is now a grown-ass man.
Right. So it's not too far-fetched at all, because we finally get really, really acquainted with Jason in part 2, who is now 20 something.
I believe they said he was 25. I believe.
I'm going to go with 25 at the most.
Yeah. Absolutely. So he's still a young man, right? So it probably wasn't a dream sequence. But let Jason Brooks tells it when he brought in the Elias Voorhees story. Right. So we know Pamela's situation. Now we know, thanks to Vengeance parts 1 and 2, we have more intel on Elias, what happened to Elias and his story and his relationship with Jason. So I figure, about me, really, I've actually been spending more time watching both Vengeance films to get a more titular idea on Elias and the Necronomicon and Pamela's obsession with bringing Jason back to life and wanting the family and unity. So I'm like, you know what? That gives me a bright idea to really focus on more depth for my retro Jason, because we know New Blood Jason has a background. My other Jason, he has a good background, and we understand his story.
But Retro Jason, he has a whole unique story on how he becomes to be, and he's not like no other Jason that we have seen on film. Because why? Retro Jason has never been seen on film. To me, there's no backstory for Retro Jason. So anything unique that comes from my mind or from Zach's mind, this Jason, sorry, Nick, this Jason is going to be a badass.
And hopefully not the Jason X.
We're not going with no Uber Jason, not at all.
Oh, come on. Uber Jason's awesome. It's a Power Ranger Jason, for God's sakes.
I mean, the idea of having the totally unkillable Jason is kind of cool, but man, come on. That was a bit too much for me. I don't know how you guys feel about that one.
So it's Kane Hodder and that terrible outfit he had to wear. God, that was so. It was so fucking terrible and uncomfortable to move in.
Most definitely, and not to mention they don't exactly have air conditioning.
Not to mention wearing those red contacts all day. Ugh.
Absolutely, that had to be rough, to say the least. But man, as we're getting into the final sequence here of the show, what is your message for not only your fans, those that are working with you and support what you do, but the new fans you've made tonight? What do you want to leave them with?
So I want to tell my Flash fans, all my new fans, my family friends, and my supporters that I want you guys to have an open mind. Have an open mind to know that this is not your regular Friday the 13th film. And to all of you diehard Friday the 13th fans, yes, I understand I'm going to get backlash. Not everyone will like what I'm doing. So I am prepared for the worst when the film drops or while we are in production. So my message, like I said, have an open mind, because this is not your regular film. This is a slasher fantasy horror, because we're dealing with the multiverse. We have 3 different Jasons. So it's going to be one hell of a bloodbath shit show.
Absolutely. Let me get whatever your top favorite horror film of all time from each one of you. We'll start with you, Maurice.
So my favorite, I'll absolutely have to go with my man's. Let me pull it up real quick. Mikey Myers.
Yes.
I have to go with Mikey Myers because Michael was my first, was the first horror movie that I fell in love with watching it. As I was so young, so I believe I was 10 at the time when I first saw my very first Halloween movie. And I was watching it with my cousin, my older cousin, who was braiding my hair. I was young, I had braids. Yeah, she was braiding my hair, and she was like, she was like, little cuz, I don't really want you watching this, but I'm braiding your hair, so you got to deal with it, kind of deal. So, Michael Myers has been my biggest infatuation. Like, I love a silent killer. You never know where
the best,
or maybe she. Where they are coming from, where they're lurking, because they are the stalkers, they are the hunters. They're coming to get on their prey. Like Michael, he's my biggest obsession. Like if I had a room dedicated to Michael, my man cave is gonna be so decked out with Michael. A little bit of Jason, but more Michael.
I'm working on
a little bit of Chucky. Actually, funny fact. Actually, I have a tattoo, right? My tattoo, I have a Chucky tattoo.
Nice.
Why would I have a Chucky tattoo before Michael? I like Chucky. He's funny. He's witty. But Michael,
sure,
I'm going to get that full sleeve of Michael because P.O.P. Hold it down, dog. I love Michael so much.
Nice. How about you, new blood, Jason? Top favorite horror film of all time?
Personally, for my age, since watching horror films since 5 years old, I can go down with the whole list. But if I was to say I'd say 5 favorites of all time. Obviously, number one, I have to go with Michael Myers in the original John Carpenter classic Halloween.
Yes.
I have been infatuated with this film since I was 5. The idea of just a madman starting out as a little kid, killing his sister. It's just how? And then escapes and targets new people. It's just messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was to name a few other ones, and I'm really hard on horror films, especially this newer generation of horror films. But if there was one film of this generation I can sit through and actually be terrified the first time I saw in theaters, it'd be Hereditary.
Yes! Finally!
I
Somebody
think you're frozen
agrees
here. You're
with me.
frozen.
That fucking film is disturbing as shit.
It is. And I'm not easy to be scared, but when I saw that in theaters, I was like, dude, I'm trembling and I'm fucking terrified to ever imagine my family's heritage of having a demon.
Right. Not to mention that, one of your children is about to become a prince of hell.
Exactly.
I mean, that's
And-
fantastic.
And the other huge favorite of mine, obviously, is the original demon movie itself, The Exorcist.
Most def.
Definitely love that one.
All right.
And
How about you, Retro
and lastly, if I was to name the final film that I love the most, I do love the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Do not get me wrong. Wes Craven directed the shit out of that movie. But if there is one film of that franchise that I extremely love, it has to be Part 3, Dream Warriors, with the most famous line.
Absolutely. Most of the Freddy franchise fans are just that's their top. Because it seemed like where they started with the first one, it just got better, and better from there. So, all right, Retro Jason, top favorite horror film.
It has to be Chucky. I don't know. Everything else, I can sit through. It doesn't really bug me, whatever. But it's something with a doll. It every time, doesn't matter how many times I watch it, it just jump. I don't know. I get scared. Everything else, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I can sit through. Different movies and horror movies, I can sit through and I laugh. But Chucky, there's something where I don't know. It's just like it gives me that thrill every time I watch it. Where
That's
like
what it's all about.
horror movies don't give it to me, and I just like laugh, and I'm like, people are like freaking out, and like and I'm just like laughing over here, and I'm like, that scared you? That was funny.
And it's a doll that actually talks and moves.
Yes.
It's not Annabelle.
Oh,
I hated that shit.
Started about
That fucking tell me, hate that fucking movie.
Yep, don't like it.
And Prince Onyx, if you're still with us, what would be
Yes, I'm
your-
still with you. So I'm gonna kind of do like a little quick list, a short list, like New Blood Jason.
Sure.
So I like the more like unique films. So I'm gonna start with Night School, which was directed by Ken Hughes. It came out in the early '80s, and it was it's really obscure. It's unique. And it actually has it's a different perspective in a sense. It's almost like the whole silent killer perspective. So I love Night School. Of course, I love Halloween. I still have mixed feelings on Halloween Ends, and we'll just leave that right there where it is. I have mixed feelings on it, but we'll save that for another day. I like what is it? Is it? I want to say the title is Urban Legend. Yeah, I want to say Urban Legend 1 and 2. I like those.
A 90s classic.
Yeah, I like those two, and of course, Nightmare on Elm Street, and that's about it. Well, and what is it? Night of the Living Dead. Of course, I've got to throw my zombie.
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
I mean, I like the horror genre because it's just very unique, and a lot of these films have like cult like followings. That's why I really love the this app called Shudder. It's kind of like a horror version of Netflix
Oh,
because it's so many
Best streaming service
You know,
ever
like
so
You're
far.
so many
not
hidden
a
gems
horror
on there.
fan if you don't
You don't have Shudder. Absolutely.
No.
For real, yes. Like it has a lot of hidden gems on there. Like there was this one movie called Shopping Mall. I loved it. There was the movie
Classic.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Classic.
good one.
I love that
Classic.
one. I think there was another one called The Intruder, which was taking place at like a grocery store. Love it. And I think that one was one of the Sam Raimi films from way back when. So like there's
Exactly.
a lot of hidden gems on there, and it's just so unique because horror can range from anything. Like you can really blend it with fantasy, with supernatural, with mystery, with suspense, with comedy. Even there's so many sub genres within it. So yeah, those are kind of like my top, I guess, like 4 or 5. I like again Night School, Halloween, Urban Legends, Night of the Living Dead, Nightmare on Elm Street. So yeah, like my top 5. I had to narrow it down, but those are my top 5.
Awesome. And I have to agree with one of our fans from the comment section there. Dead Silence was a very scary film. And
Really fucking scary.
Underrated, I must add.
One
Yes,
very,
super
very underrated.
Yes.
Oh my god, man! Why the hell did that film get bigger?
That woman scared the shit out of me.
Especially when she turned to
And
a
that's
fucking
hard
doll.
to do.
Well, I will say I could not sleep for a week straight after watching that.
Oh man, I can't.
And
even,
the worst thing is, you can't even scream without bye bye, Tom,
Exactly.
forever.
I mean, you know, I couldn't even watch Jeff Dunham after that.
Tell because I saw him live
Anything
once.
that has
I'm
to
like,
do-
ugh.
Yeah, anything that has to do with a ventriloquist doll just fucking sucks. Especially with Goosebumps. Slappy.
Classic.
Voiced by the classic Jack Black. What's more
Oh.
awesome than that?
Yeah, a phenomenal job. And his voice for him was perfect.
Oh, absolutely. Every time I saw that film during the Halloween season, I'm like, this is awesome!
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. It has been a fucking blast. We definitely have to have you back on the show as you progress with the film. And that way we can keep all of our viewers up to date on how it's going, especially for when it gets finished. Send me everything that you can on it. I will promote the hell out of it. Because
that's what I love to
very
hear.
excited.
You know, even in the process right now, by being a pre-production phase 1, I tell all of my fans, my family, my friends, all of my loved ones, and my Flash fans, you know, it takes $0.00 to promote your friends or your significant other or your brother, your sister, your niece, your nephew's work. Promote, because you're helping them get the exposure that they are seeking to gain. 0 cents and $0 to share a post. That is all. Share a post a day to help the exposure, that we would like for this production.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, and as a matter of fact, if you have missed this live broadcast tonight, as I always tell everybody out there, all my Reaper's Demons, share it. It doesn't go away. It doesn't disappear. If you missed it, watch it the next day. Fucking share it out, because you're only helping all of this great artistry and talent to get out to the masses. That is what the underground is all about, and always will be. Don't really care about the mainstream. Mainstream is just what they want you to like. But what's really good and the real artists is the independents, the independent filmmaking, music, independent labels, all of it. Share it out, because that's really where the talent really resides. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight. Unfortunately, didn't get to say goodbye to Retro Jason.
Yeah, his computer died, so he had to crash, but it's okay. I'll chop it up with him later on.
Wait, I'll have a good one.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. And like I said, we'll definitely get together and do this again. So, as you are preparing for Halloween weekend, think about all your favorite films, but most importantly, stay heavy.